good afternoon my friends. Happy Thursday. It's the 2nd of June and I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another cold, icy day. My hands are freezing. So I'm going to get into some sewing, try and warm myself up. Now when I say that it's cold, I'm going to let you know how cold it actually is. Yesterday I think it got down to... Actually, I didn't really see what the weather was yesterday, but yesterday was cold. But today, it possibly doesn't sound very cold compared to some people, but it's cold. Today it is 16 degrees and it feels like 14 degrees. Now that's in Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold. And the low today will be 3 degrees. So yeah, really lovely and cold. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking at the weather. Next Thursday, they're predicting 13 degrees during the day. Oh my gosh, that's cold. Cold for us anyway, so yeah, it's chilly. But anyway, I'm going to do some sewing. Yesterday, I started making some bunting. As you all know, I mentioned it in my last vlog, and you know, if you're just aware of what's happening in the world, the Queen is celebrating her 70th platinum Jubilee thing this weekend. So I'm making some bunting, themed bunting, just to hang up in our house because I want to. So yesterday I made some flags. Oh, it's got 1,000 pins in it, so I don't want to hurt myself. But yeah, this is what I made. So I've used just all scrap stuff. It's white, it's actually an off cream. Red, I discovered this beautiful blue leaf print in my stash and I absolutely loved it, and I've paired it with this print as well, and then the rest is all just, you know, all the solid colors. And then I made some binding with just a grey solid, and I pressed that into binding, of course. So I have about a little over 3 meters of bunting to sew. I've pinned them all into place and I've left about a 1-inch gap in between each little bunt, flag, triangle thing, whatever they call it, I don't know. Flag, I think it's a flag. And now I just got to sew them all together. Oh my gosh, I keep stabbing myself. I just realized last night while I was thinking about this that I put the pins in the wrong way. So it's going to be fun to sew, but that's okay. I'll figure something out. So I'm going to try and warm up my fingers a little bit and do a little bit of sewing and see how it looks. Oh, done. So easy. It looks great. I'm really happy with the length. I've got no idea where we're going to hang it, but figure that out, I guess. But yeah, if you're interested in making this as well, although I'm not sure when this particular video is going to go out, whether it's going to go out before the weekend or after it, but what I did is I cut a 9-inch strip of fabric, and then with my ruler along the length I counted in 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I put my ruler on an angle and then cut down to that point, and then turned my ruler and went up that way another 4 inches, so that the actual top width here was 8 inches. So as I was cutting it, these are some spare that I had, I was sort of cutting it like that, and then the next cut was there. So I'd go this way, then that way, then this way, then that way. So if that made sense, then awesome. So I cut them out on the double, and then I sewed down this side and then this side using a 1/4-inch seam, pulled them out the right way, pressed them, and then pinned them into the binding strip that I made. I just cut a 3-inch strip and then joined them like I did like a vice binding for a quilt, and then instead of pressing it just in half, I pressed the edges in into the center and then folded it again to create binding. Well, good morning my friends and happy Friday. It's the 3rd of June. Yeah, it must be the 3rd. Yes. This is a lovely Friday morning and it's chilly. Winter has definitely arrived here in Australia. So I'm going to spend the day doing a little bit of embroidery. Last night we were watching the Trooping of the Colour for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. We were watching it live on Sky News on YouTube and it was great. And as I was watching that, I saw on Facebook from the Royal School of Needlework that they're offering a free pattern of the crown. So it's a really nice sort of embroidery project that you can do. So I'm going to do it. I've downloaded the pattern. It's a free pattern you can download off the website. I'll link it below if you want to do it. But I downloaded the pattern onto my iPad and here it is. So this is a really basic like crown pattern, and I'm actually going to try and trace it from my iPad. I've never done that before, but it makes like a perfect like light box. Usually when I try and trace patterns from a piece of paper onto a fabric, I'll either pop it up on the window, or a couple of times I've made my own sort of DIY light box with a light underneath like a Tupperware container. But this time I'm going to try and take it off my iPad. It's actually been quite a long time since I've done any hand embroidery. That's what I used to be all about. I've got a couple of projects that I've done hanging up. I also have a whole box here full of projects that I've done in the past. I've been hand embroidering, oh my gosh, for I'm gonna say maybe as long as I've been sewing, which is well over 15 years. And it's something that I love doing. It's a really great sort of hand project to keep your hands busy. Really great sort of project to take on holiday and to do in front of the lounge while watching TV. It's a really great versatile sort of project skill thing to do. So I'm actually really quite excited because I haven't done any hand embroidery in a long time. I've been getting into, as you all know, machine embroidery, so it's kind of nice to kind of go back to my roots and yeah, and do something that I haven't done in a very long time. So I dug all of my embroidery stuff from out of my table. It was sort of like all the way to the back of the table. So I found threads, and in this little container here I have my hoops. I think I might do this size. That size, I think. The size of this hoop is 17 inch or 175 millimeters. And then, very appropriately, this is my little embroidery tin. And it says, "I love London." And then along the sides, it's got all of the guards. But this is such a great size tin. Oh, what have we got in here? I've got a Cath Kidston pencil, a needle threader, and my little metallic needle catcher thing. But yeah, this is a really great size to keep all of my threads in, my scissors, pencil if I need it. Oh look, it's got Charlie hair in it. Why am I not surprised? His hair is everywhere. Now in terms of colours, I'm actually not really sure what to use. I do want to use maybe, I mean I know there's such a faff and I hate using them. Oh, I don't have very much of it. Maybe not. I was going to maybe use a little bit of like metallic gold thread up around the top of the crown. I do have silver, but it's not the same. I have to admit I hate sewing with metallic thread. It's just a nightmare. So maybe we'll go for something different. Maybe I should do it all in purples to celebrate the Jubilee. I don't know, I'm gonna have to think. But I need to prep some fabric first. I might pull out some linen because I love embroidering on linen. I usually put some interfacing on the back, usually just an iron-on interfacing just to give it a bit of stability. Give it all a press and then we'll trace the picture on. Okay, nice and easy. It's all now traced on to the fabric. To trace on the design, I just like using just a pencil, usually with a nice sharp-ish point. And because I did this using my iPad, I was able to use my little magnet thing here that hold your needle, I was actually able to use them to hold the fabric onto the iPad because they're magnetic, and it just sort of stuck to the iPad. And yeah, there it is. So to use my iPad to trace the design, I used an app called Artist Lightbox. It is a free download from the App Store, and it allows you to trace any picture you want from your gallery that's on your iPad or your phone. And once you've got it to the right sort of size, kind of placement you want, big or little, you can actually use one of the little functions down here, the little lock here, to lock it, and then the picture doesn't move. So you can still touch it, but not kind of have it sort of move in and out. I'll just unlock it. And now that I've unlocked it, I can sort of make it as big as I want. So I thought that was just a handy little tool to share if you yourself want to make this, or struggle finding ways to transfer a pattern onto fabric when you want to do hand embroidery. If you have an iPad or something that is similar, then yeah, that app is really handy, and I'm going to use it in the future most definitely. So I'm going to hoop this lovely project up and get into choosing some colors. I'm still kind of vibing with maybe doing all purples because that's kind of like the theme of the Platinum Jubilee, but I also really like the thought of doing like traditional red, blue, white, gold, silver kind of colors, but I'm kind of limited in my colors. I don't really have a lot, so that's why I'm thinking I might stick with purple and put a little silver thing on the top. That might be a good idea. Alright, leave it with me and I'll come back. Okay, I think I've made a decision. It's a little bit hard to see because the light's so strange in here today, but I'm going for purple. So what I've decided is the metallic silver for the top cross bit, and then these two lighter sort of purples for these pearls. So I'm thinking maybe this one for the center, and then these two here, and then the lighter one for these sort of ones here. And then we've got these two colors. Hopefully I'll have enough of this one because I want it to go sort of like all the way around the edge. And then this lighter purple will be in the center. And then this sort of really darky kind of purple I'm going to have down the bottom. So it's almost sort of like graduating up to the top. So hopefully that little sort of like bundle of threads will make it look somewhat nice. Okay, my friends, it's a little bit later on in the day and I've just been happily working away on my embroidery, and this is what we're up to. I've been having lots of fun actually switching some of my stitches. I usually do back stitch, but I've decided to branch out and learn some new skills. So the bottom bit here, I just did a normal back stitch, and then for the actual crown parts, so this one and this one, I did a split stitch just to sort of thicken up those lines. And then for our pearls up here, I've learnt how to do a buttonhole wheel, which very easy, and I love how they came out. And now I'm brushing up on my skills of doing satin stitch. I've always sucked at doing satin stitch, but the Royal School of Needlework have a stitch bank on their website. If you scan the little QR code that's on the pattern, it takes you to their stitch bank. And so I looked up how to do a proper satin stitch, and yeah, I'm really happy with how the first two have come out. This is the first one I did, and then this is the second one. I think the second one's turned out better than the first, but it looks really good. I'm really happy with the colors. You can kind of see it in the light. I mean, I've only got my little lamp on and I'm filming this on my phone, so it's a little bit hard to see the proper colors, but I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. So I think once I've done all the pearls up the top, I might leave the cross till last because I'm procrastinating over that because I have to use a metallic thread. I'm actually going to fill this center bit in. I think I'm going to again learn a new stitch, and I think I'm going to do like a feather stitch in the center just to sort of fill it out and bring some more color to it, and we'll see what it looks like. So happy days. I'm really happy with that. Good afternoon, my friends, and happy Wednesday. It's the something of June. It's on the screen. I don't know what day it is, but I hope you're all doing well. I thought I'd give a quick update to close this vlog of what I'm up to in my embroidery. I haven't got very far since I last showed you from the other day, but I'm liking the direction. This is what we've done. So I finished doing all of the satin stitching of the pearls up the top here, and I've started doing some feather stitch in the center. This is my very first time doing feather stitch and I'm pretty happy with it. It was very easy to do. I've drawn lines, so I'm going to do another line of feather stitching here and here, but I'm not sure whether to sort of, I don't know, do like a full sort of feather stitch kind of design. I don't know whether I can now go next to it and sort of fill it in. I don't know. I'm gonna like play around with it a little bit, but I'm really happy with it. It looks good. It's been such a nice simple project to just sit down and stitch away at while watching some TV. So we had a really nice weekend celebrating the Queen's Jubilee. I kind of regret not really filming very much of it. I kind of just sort of got swept away with what was happening on the weekend and stuff. But on Sunday I did like a little lunch at home and I made some pies, coronation pies, and some sausage rolls, and I made a cake and put like blueberries and raspberries on it and stuff. Yeah, that was a really nice little celebration we had here. Very low key and like nothing too special. But yeah, we had fun sort of catching up and watching all of the stuff that was happening in London. So it was a very nice weekend. Before I end the vlog, I'm going to let you know that I am going to pop up another quilt for sale on my Etsy store. My Houseware Triangle sampler quilt sold a couple of days after I posted it, so I was very happy with that. And I also would like to say thank you to everyone for your comments and advice when it comes to pricing quilts. A lot of people said that they, like me, don't really sell quilts because it's really hard to price them and usually make them more to gift. That's usually what I do as well, because it's such a nice thing to make and give away. I mean, it's like one of the best feelings in the world. So yeah, I really appreciate the conversation that people had about what they do with their quilts and why they make them and gifting them and stuff like that. So yeah, I really appreciate it. So I'm planning on maybe putting up another 2 to 3 more quilts that I have. One is like a proper quilt, one that you've seen before. The second one is like a tiny little lap quilt, baby quilt type thing. And then another one is a wall hanging. And all 3 you've seen before. All 3 are quilts that I don't really need. I love them to bits. But yeah, as I'm sort of clearing things out and moving things along, these are ones that I can say goodbye to. So the first proper quilt is going to be this one. This, if you recognize it, is my... I mean, what did I even call it? Oh, that's right. It's been a while since I made it. It's the Star Sampler Quilt from the Star Sampler Quilt along that I did on my channel in 2017. So this is a quilt featuring cotton and steel basics and another range that they did, I can't remember. But I'm going to say goodbye to this one and allow it to go to another household that will use it and love it and cherish it. For all of those interested, the last quilt that I sold, which was the Houseware Triangle sampler, that is going to someone in Switzerland, which is very exciting. As I was folding it up and packaging it, I was telling it, "You're going to Switzerland, love, have fun, enjoy." So it's very exciting to think that I'm going to have a quilt over in Switzerland. So to the person who bought it, thank you very much and I hope you enjoy it. But if you're interested in having my Star Sampler quilt, then it will be available on Etsy soon-ish, possibly within the next day or so. The next one that I'm going to pop on Etsy is this wall hanging. I did this as a tutorial. It is my Crown of Thorns wall hanging. This is a big block tutorial I believe that I did on my channel couple of years ago. It actually doesn't have a label on it, but I will put a label on it for when it goes out to the person who would like to have this. It does have a rod pocket on the back so you can hang it up. And yeah, it's just a really nice colourful nice little wall hanging to have. I have had this hanging up in my own sewing room and I really love it. I love the colours to it, but I just don't need it. I have my other sample quilt on the wall that I absolutely love, but this one can go to a new home. I just want to note with this one, it does actually have a few little marks on it. I'm not sure what they are. A couple of them are actually like within the fabric, like within the fibres and stuff. So just be aware of that. You can't tell from far away, only if you look up close. But yeah, just be aware of that, and I will put that in the description in the Etsy listing so that everyone who is interested in buying it is aware of that. I won't show the next one that I have planned to sell just yet, just because I need to do a few things to it. So it's all very exciting that some of these things are going out into the world and being enjoyed by people who would like to enjoy them. So if you are interested in checking them out, there is a link to my Etsy store down in the description box below, along with a link to the crown pattern if you would like to print it out and give it a go too. And then I'll also pop a link to all of the stitches on the Royal School of Needlework website in their stitch bank. All of the stitches that I've used in this embroidery, just if you are interested in learning some of the new skills that I learnt as well. So pretty much everything that I kind of mention in this vlog or show you, it will always be linked down in the description box below, along with all of the tutorials and a link to the Star Sampler quilt series if you're interested in making one. So that, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye bye.